This morning we're just checking the pH of the 4 different soil types that we found in the veggie patch. Last night we did the water suspension test, and it shows that we've got really clay soil, which we knew, but our friend that came over, who is the landscaping permaculture designer, he suggested that our soil was very silty, so we need to amend it and we need to check the pH. So I'll just show you the update on the water test from last night. It's still very murky, as you can see, 1, 2, 3 different soil types. Here Paul's collected 4 different soil types that he's found in the veggie patch, and now we're going to use our kit and test to see what the pH is. So this is just a kit that came with the house. I believe you can get these from Bunnings or any kind of nursery place.
Yeah, any garden supply place.
And it's just a dye and a reactor kit. You make a paste with the soil, you put the dye, you mix the dye in. Have you mixed the dye in?
Yeah.
Yep. And then you put this white stuff on top and it will change colour. And then you match it up to this chart here, and it tells you what your pH is.
It's kind of been like this.
So this patch is slightly acidic, which is okay because we want to add lime to the veggie patch just to break up the clay. So it looks like we're about 5.5 for this section. This is the next sample. Just going to add the dye. Mix it in.
Paste.
So we got the test results from the other 3 soil samples, and it looks like they're about 5 on the pH scale. So we'll be adding some lime and maybe some gypsum to the ground, which will hopefully increase the pH in there. So Paul just did some research, and it's 4 kilos to 10 square meters to increase it by the 2 points that we need. So hopefully that will work. It can take up to a year to come into full effect. So next year it should be pumping and ready to go, and we'll just cut our losses and see what we get growing out of the garden this year. While Paul's doing some errands that I can't help with, I'm going to pick the beetroot, because just about all of it's going to seed and they're getting to a really good size. Later on I'll pick the spinach and I'll preserve it, I'll steam it, vacuum seal it and pop it in the freezer, and it should make way for a heap more veg to plant in here. I'm really happy with that harvest. I'm going to leave the rest in the ground because they've got a bit more room to grow now, and they should be ready to pick next week. But I wanted to show you this mammoth beetroot that I picked out. Ooh, stuck. Look at that beauty. Can't wait. And so this is basically the poorest soil we could plant into. But hopefully we can transform this barren patch that's got no soil life into a permaculture garden, a very abundant and productive garden. It may not be this year. This year we may only get a small, tiny harvest. But in years to come, this soil is going to only get better. The more organic matter that we can add into it, the better it's going to get. So for the moment, mulch on this section, silage on another section. We've got some spent hay up the top too, so that's going to go in another section. Paul was able to dig out old composted rabbit manure from underneath the shed. They used to breed meat rabbits here, and they had cut out the floors and all the manure fell into the floor. And it's been a number of years and it's all composted down. So we're going to dig holes for each individual plant, the hundreds of plants that we've got. put some of that beautiful composted manure in there, put the plant on top, and then cover it with mulch. And hopefully we can get some soil life and some action into the soil. And hopefully a harvest too, because that's the aim of the game, isn't it? First in is red kidney beans. This little cutie wanted to water the new plants. Sarah. Sarah. What's a daddy? Daddy. My boots. Nah.
Mama, but
How about you water daddy?
yes.
Yes. got quite a few plants in today. I got a couple of punnets of tomatoes, most of my climbing beans, my cucumbers and my okra. I planted some pea seeds as well, but we still have heaps more to do. I've still got another 4 or 5 punnets of tomatoes, with a heap of corn that needs to go in, and my bush beans. It is around 5 o'clock now, so we are winding up for the day. We are both exhausted, but we've got 2 more chores to do before we can go inside and relax. One of them is putting up poultry netting, which Paul's starting now. He's just over there. Don't know if you can see him because the sun's right there. Because the chooks keep coming in and scratching about, which wouldn't be an issue if it weren't for the horrible soil that we've got, and I don't want them scratching out all the little worms that we've got. We've only got a handful, but messing up the mulch and pulling out my plants. They keep scratching about. There's another one down there. It's down there. So I'm hoping that, see, look at that. It's being cheeky. Get out. Go on. So hopefully the electrified poultry netting will keep them out, deter them, hopefully keep out the wombats and rabbits as well, because they're also quite pesky.